There's nothing better than playing in front of your own fans.
Portland, that's intercepted. Murray, good at the goal. Got it!
Thousands of people screaming your name. The energy is insane, but imagine all of that suddenly turning against you.
Oh, David
Because tonight, we're looking at the NBA players who got absolutely disrespected in front of their own crowd. We've got posters, embarrassing plays, unbelievable performances, and one moment that completely changed the atmosphere inside an entire arena. And trust me, number one is brutal. Let's get into it. The Palace of Auburn Hills, February 8th, 2015. Los Angeles Clippers versus Detroit Pistons. Brandon Knight, Detroit's own starting guard, is on his home floor in front of his own fans. Chris Paul lobs the ball toward the rim for DeAndre Jordan on a fast break, and Knight steps up to try to contest it instead of just conceding the layup. Jordan catches the lob and throws it down directly over the top of Knight, practically sitting him on the floor in the process.
Here comes Chris Paul. The lob. The jam! Oh, what a monster jam by DeAndre Jordan!
Knight wasn't a bystander, he was Detroit's own guard, trying to make a winning defensive play in his own building, and instead became the centerpiece of one of the most replayed posters of the 2014-15 season. But as awkward as that was, the next player embarrassed himself in a completely different way. Toronto. All-Star Saturday night, two young high flyers, Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine, going dunk for dunk in what's still considered one of the greatest contests ever. Every round, one of them tops the other. The crowd's on its feet before the ball is even in their hands. It gets to the point where nobody in the building believes what they're watching is possible.
It's a long drum roll.
Yes, there it is. Okay, this is real.
LaVine goes between the legs from the free throw line. Gordon answers off a bounce over a mascot through his legs, back and forth, again and again, until the judges themselves look exhausted. This one's less embarrassment and more mutual destruction. Both guys spent the entire night trying to outdo the other so hard that judges eventually had to give Gordon a 50 just to keep up, and it still wasn't enough.
Okay. He's got tricks up his sleeve.
He's got bunny. I didn't know he had bunnies like that.
He's got dunks. I don't know. That was terrific.
You'd think nobody could top that. Then the next chapter happened, and it wasn't a dunk contest anymore. He's fired up, swinging his arm out in celebration. James Harden happens to be standing right behind him. The elbow catches Harden flush. He drops to the floor immediately. The Lakers crowd goes from roaring to dead silent in about a second and a half. Nobody's sure if they just watched a knockout or an accident. Not disrespect toward Harden alone, disrespect toward the entire moment. What was supposed to be a highlight reel dunk celebration turned into a controversy that got World Peace ejected and eventually suspended for 7 games. The home crowd that was mid-celebration had to sit there and watch security walk their own guy off the floor.
When he came out and some of the Thunder went to approach him and confront him on it, Artest was, as he was getting in a fighting stance.
Down 23 points in the fourth quarter. This one looks over, then Roy just turns it on. Shot after shot, Portland claws all the way back and steals the game in the final seconds, capping one of the great fourth quarter comebacks in playoff history.
In the video, Roy for the lead, banks it in! 84-82!
This one flips the script. The disrespect belongs to Dallas, who spent 3 quarters not taking a guy on one good knee seriously enough. That's the kind of moment that turns a building upside down. And if you thought that crowd was loud Uzi, wait until you see what happened in Boston. TD Garden, 2012 playoffs. Boston versus LeBron is always a war. Jason Terry, never short on confidence, is guarding him early. LeBron catches the ball on the break. Terry's in front of him, set. He goes straight through Terry and throws it down so hard the entire Celtics bench stands up not to cheer for their team, but out of pure shock.
Defense. Wade from behind takes it away. Chalmers, Cole, James!
Terry became the poster in his own building, in front of the crowd that was supposed to be intimidating LeBron, not the other way around.
Out of the mezzanine to dunk this ball. Just watch
Boston, 2017 playoffs. One day after the anniversary of losing his sister in a car accident and playing through a serious hip injury, Isaiah Thomas takes the floor for Game 2 against the Wizards. Nobody expects a heroic performance under those circumstances. The pressure, the grief, the pain, it would be understandable if he had nothing left. Instead, Thomas erupts for 53 points, tying Larry Bird's franchise playoff scoring record in front of a Boston crowd that's on its feet chanting his name by the fourth quarter. This one isn't disrespect toward Thomas, it's Thomas disrespecting the entire idea that circumstances should slow him down. Every Wizards defender who got switched onto him that night walked away looking helpless. The TD Garden crowd turned into one of the loudest emotional eruptions in recent playoff memory. You'd think nobody could top that emotionally. Then Golden State happened. Oracle Arena, 2016 Finals, Game 4. Defending champions, expecting to take control of the series against Cleveland. Instead, Draymond Green takes over the game with an all-around explosion scoring, rebounding, running the offense, and Golden State starts pulling away like the series is already decided. Nobody in that building has any idea the series is about to flip completely upside down in the games that follow. The disrespect here is a slow burn. A home crowd fully convinced the title's already wrapped up, celebrating a performance that ends up being the high point of a series they end up losing. Confidence turned into one of the most infamous collapses in NBA Finals history. But as huge as that swing was, the next guy didn't just have a big game. He had the game of his life, on the road, with everything on the line. No home crowd at all, just the strange echoing bubble arena. But the disrespect here is aimed straight at the Lakers, who came in expecting to close it out.
James and Butler throwing haymakers at each other. Butler drives, and he's fouled. Butler right now is exhausted with 46.7.
Jimmy Butler goes for a 35-point triple-double, playing all but a few minutes of the entire game, refusing to let the series end. Miami survives, forcing the series back to LA. The Lakers came in ready to celebrate a title on the spot. Instead, they watched one guy single-handedly wreck their plans and drag the series out by pure will. It's the kind of performance that makes an opponent's whole bench go quiet mid-celebration. We've seen players get posterized. We've seen entire arenas go silent. We've seen superstars get embarrassed. We've even seen moments that completely change the mood of an entire game, but there's one moment that stands above all of them, because this time the player wasn't just beaten, he was completely humiliated in front of everyone who came to support him. The shot, Michael Jordan, silences Cleveland, 3 seconds left. Bulls ball, full court to go. Jordan takes the inbound pass, drives up the sideline as the clock ticks down. Jordan pulls up at the free throw line, hangs in the air as Alo flies past him and lands, and drains the jumper right as the buzzer sounds.
He gives to Jordan. Jordan to the circle, puts the shot in the air. Good! The game's over, and the Bulls have won.
Series over. Cleveland's season over. Alo didn't do anything wrong. He played the possession about as well as it could be played. That's what makes it worse. Jordan didn't just beat a bad defender. He beat a good one at the buzzer, on the road, in an elimination game, in front of a crowd that thought they'd already won. Basketball is supposed to be a team sport, but sometimes one player becomes the main character. And unfortunately for these guys, the entire arena saw it happen. So which NBA player got disrespected the worst? And what moment did we miss? Drop it in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe for more NBA stories, crazy moments, and basketball content. And trust me, we've got plenty more moments where that came from.